Good afternoon, guys, girls. Rob here with you. 20:05 this afternoon. Qualifying offers are on the table already. Qualifying offers on the table. If they're not on the table now, they're free agents. And they're going to be free agents either way, but there's qualifying offers that could already be signed before 5 p.m. They had to be on by 4 p.m. 20 minutes from now, all hell breaks loose. All hell will break loose. Who's going to be the first domino to fall? I don't know. I know there are a lot of great outfielders and a lot of great shortstops out there. And you've got Wilson Contreras, the one catcher that a lot of folks love. What's up, Keith? What's going on? Um, I have gotten some words over the last few minutes. Free agent from the Dodgers, Tyler Anderson. He's a starting pitcher. He could receive a qualifying offer before 4 p.m. But there are two teams already ready to make the call to Tyler Anderson: the Red Sox and the Angels. It is believed that the Dodgers will not offer, would not have gave Anderson a qualifying offer. I'm not at my table. I'm not at my TV. I can't see it right now. But Tyler Anderson will get offers from Red Sox and from the Angels today. We'll see what happens there. There's some others. Phillies, other than starting pitching, shortstop is high on their list. I'll let you know. The Marlins odds of landing Judge 2% at best. He wants West Coast. If he stays East Coast, he's going to either be a Yankee or a Met, and that's exactly who we're going to start with. Aaron Judge, the New York Yankees. The Mets are going to give him. The Mets are going to offer him the world. The Mets will probably offer him 10 years, $35 million. I think he'll turn it down. Texas. There are players out there now. They are going to grab as many starting pitchers and as many good bats as they possibly can. They are going to be a team that's going to be over the threshold money-wise in 2023, especially if they go out here and get Aaron Judge for $40 million a year. The Yankees, they are a possibility. Yes, of course, any team. Tyler Anderson is a journeyman pitcher, but the thing is, a lot of people want to pay him the 7, 8, 9 million rather than go pay 25 million. Hi, Darlene. I just blew you a kiss, said Keith. She's got her headset on, so she. And but to me, 15-5 with a 2.57 this past. Yeah, that's not bad. And he's a lefty. Of course, you got to figure out where he was playing at ball field. But I think Judge will end up with the San Francisco Giants. I think that's where he wants to go. I think that's where he ends up as a San Francisco Giant. Next, we go to Jacob deGrom. He's number 2 on the list right now. There's 3 teams that are showing interest in him. The Atlanta Braves, late interest with him because they realize they probably going to end up losing another one of their pitchers. Atlanta wants him. Obviously, the New York Mets, they are there. They may end up getting him, but that's not where I think he ends up going. I think he ends up going to Texas and becomes a Texas Ranger next year. Trey Turner's number 3 on the list. There's a lot of National League clubs wanting him. The Cubs, the Cardinals, the Dodgers are even expressing interest in him. But I think he's becoming a Philadelphia Philly. He is good friends with Bryce Harper. And Bryce has already said, I want Turner on the team. I don't necessarily think this is the best move for the Phillies. I think they would be better off to save a few $1 million, get Xander Bogaerts, and then try to get them some starting pitching. But Turner, the best shortstop this year on the board as far as wins to losses, wins above replacement, far and above the best. So Turner is not a bad option at all if you want a shortstop. The next one is Carlos Rodon. Carlos Rodon. The Angels are expressing a lot of interest in Rodon. The Yankees, they're wanting him. St. Louis are showing a lot of, what's up, Papa? And St. Louis, and so are the Giants. They're expressing a lot of interest in him. But I think Rodon's going to end up going to Texas along with DeGrom. I think they're going to have the two-headed monster down there next year. I don't know how well they're going to be offensively. Offense is not normally the problem at Texas. It's always their defense and their pitching. Right now, if they get DeGrom, they get Rodon, then you start working on your bullpen for next year, and then you can definitely start looking at what you can do about the fielders and maybe go a little less with the spending on the field, especially with those two big bombs pitching. Verlander, interest coming from the Mets. The Mets realize DeGrom is probably not their option this year. They can go with a short-term 1-2 year contract. Verlander is still pitching. He's still throwing 3 and under earned run average, and batters only hitting less than right around 200 on him. He's the real deal. The Dodgers, they realize Tyler Anderson could definitely end up hitting the road. If that's the case, Verlander is a great option for the Dodgers. San Francisco Giants. Yes, I think the Giants are a great option. But this is the first time I'm going to say one guy re-signs with his old team. I'm going to say Verlander will sign a 1-year deal with Houston. What if Verlander goes back to the Tigers? I don't think it happens. I think he's going to sign with Houston a 1 or 2 year deal, and that'll probably do out his career. Correa right now. Carlos Correa. The Giants are looking for him right now. Also, the LA Dodgers. Bumgarner is not a free agent. No, I don't think so. Correa, the Giants, the Dodgers, and who do you think will be the biggest overpaid contract? Biggest overpaid contract. Clear up what you're thinking now. All right. Clear up your statement there, and I might be able, the biggest overpaid contract. The most overpaid contract right now. And again, I mean, who do you think will be the biggest overpaid contract? Well, this year I think DeGrom. I think if a team gives him 3 years and $90 million, they're out of their mind. With as many times as he's not going to sign for $30 million. DeGrom has said it. If he goes 3 years, he's getting over $100 million. He's getting over $100 million for 3 years. That's overpaid. I'm sorry. That's just the way I see it. Correa, like I say, the Giants, Dodgers, and the Twins all expressing interest in Correa, but I think Cubs are going to end up getting Carlos Correa. I think that's going to be their first landing spot for a big name top 10 player, and Carlos Correa ends up being a Chicago Cub. Xander Bogaerts. I kind of stressed around with this one a little bit. Obviously, if Trey Turner falls through the cracks for the Philadelphia Phillies, I think he'll end up going to the Phillies. But saying that Turner goes to Turner going to the Phillies, like I say he does, I know right now St. Louis wants him. St. Louis is wanting him. We'll see what happens there. Boston, who is supposed to be the best rookie pitcher next year? I do not know there. Did Nelson Cruz retire yet? No. Nelson Cruz is coming back for another year. Bogaerts, St. Louis, that's a possibility. Yes. Philadelphia, I think, is number 1 on the list if they don't get Turner. But then St. Louis, and then obviously there's always a chance Boston could re-sign him. But right now, I really think Bogaerts may end up going to Atlanta. I like Atlanta right now. Bogarts. And you're thinking, well, they got Dansby Swanson, Rob. They had Dansby Swanson. Swanson's hitting the bricks. I think Swanson's hitting the road. I'll tell you who I think he's going to end up going to. He's third on Philadelphia's list. If they don't get Turner, they don't get Bogarts, they will get Swanson. They're going to get one of those three. They realize they've got the money to do it right now. That's it. That's their one chance to really, really up their hitting is to get one of those three guys. So if Swanson does not go to the Phillies, okay, then obviously I got him going. Then the next place I got him going to is Boston, and then St. Louis, then Atlanta. But then I'm also, um, but I really think Swanson is going to end up being a Cub. I think Swanson joins Correa in Chicago. I really think that's what's going to happen there. Bassett. Well, Texas, this is their backup plan right here. This is Texas' backup plan. If they can't get Rodon or DeGrom, one of those two, they want both of them. But if they can get DeGrom and can't get Rodon, Bassett is a great number two to go after. So Texas right now has got to be the favorite on my list to go there. Then I think there's a chance of Phillies to go after him. Do I think it's a hot chance? Maybe 15%. New York Yankees. Is your favorite game? No, Keith. New York Yankees. I think they've got a chance. New York Mets, obviously, they got every chance in the world to re-sign him. But where do I think Chris Bassett ends up at? Atlanta. The rich get richer. I think Chris Bassett goes to Atlanta. Now here comes the news for Brandon Nimmo. Yeah, Abreu wants to go to the Cubs. You're right. He's just not a top 10 guy. This is the last one, though. Brandon Nimmo. He's outfielder for the Mets, and he is going to leave. The Cubs like him. Atlanta likes him. The Yankees like him. The Mets would love to re-sign him. No. He's going to go to Seattle. I think he's going to be a Seattle Mariner. Brandon Nimmo. Okay? So these are my picks. The Nimmo contract is ridiculous. You're right. And so, but Seattle wants him. So this is what I think happens. Judge ends up a Giant. DeGrom ends up a Ranger. Trey Turner, the shortstop from the Dodgers, goes to Philadelphia, becomes a Philly. Carlos Rodon becomes a Ranger. Verlander stays in Houston. Correa goes to the Cubs. Bogarts goes to Atlanta. Swanson goes to the Cubs. Bassett ends up going to Atlanta. And Nimmo goes to Seattle. How many of these do I get right? I don't know. Imagine if Judge becomes the next Barry Bonds for the Giants. Yeah. And it's sad. And the crazy part about it is that I'm not sure Judge doesn't have more power than Bonds did. Bonds was a left-handed bomber. But Judge can hit so many 400, 430, 440, 450 or 440 foot shots. So that's who I've got going to the right now. Obviously, we heard a little while ago Jose Abreu looks like he's leaving the White Sox, going to the Cubs. I like Carlos Correa. I think he will join the Cubs as in the outfield, and then Dansby Swanson. I say Dansby Swanson goes to the Cubs. That's going to help them, but I think they could use some pitching too. But the pitchers, Rodon goes to Texas. Verlander stays in Houston, and Bassett, I think, will go to Atlanta. We'll see what happens there. Verlander and DeGrom goes to Texas. We'll see what happens. 5 minutes from now, they can start signing where they want to go. But, the world, everybody's telling me, Rob, Judge stays in New York. I just don't think so. I think if they wanted him that bad, they wouldn't wait till now to offer him 10 years for $400 million. Um, Contreras is a Mancini. That would be the sexy pick, but I don't think so. I think Mancini may end up going to a team that might end up maybe in a rebuild, maybe a Pittsburgh, maybe a Cincinnati. Um, Josh Bell is a wonderful one too. Josh Bell could end up going to Philadelphia. He's a switch hitter if Reese Hoskins ends up going. All right, there, Tim. Have a good one. Um, but I think Mancini is going to end up going somewhere that's going to be kind of a rebuild, and they're going to use him as a captain. Contreras, man, oh man, there's so many places he could end up. But I think the Yankees probably end up getting him. I think the Yankees going to end up going after Contreras, and we'll see what happens there. You all have a good one. I'm going to the MLB Network myself right now. I may have some hockey to show you guys. So I hope you're around in case I do want to show it. Stone Cold Hockey. Um, if you were the GM of the Phillies, which three players would you release first? Um, I don't want to release. Papo. I don't want to release. I want to trade Castellanos. I want to trade Castellanos. If I have to pay some of his salary, I would. If I have to pay $5 million of his salary this year and next year, I'd do it. I don't really want to release. Be home in about an hour. I got you. I don't. Nick Nelson. I don't have any promise in him at all. No confidence, no promise. He needs to hit the bricks. And then they let Zach Eflin leave, but they're trying to re-sign him for more money. I don't understand that. The Phillies actually want to re-sign Eflin. Yeah, I think they need to F that instead of Eflin. But we'll see what happens there. You all have a good one. Free agent market opens up in a minute and a half. Should be a lot of fun. Have a good one. Jose Alvarado, we keep him. We try to keep him if we can. He's worth the money. Bye-bye.